Welcome to the None But Curious podcast. We're all about finding inspiration in life's uncertainties. Whether you're still figuring things out, questioning your beliefs, or just curious about the world, come hang out with us as we celebrate the beauty of not having all the answers.
Hey there! So today we're stepping into a world filled with mischief, wit, and unexpected wisdom. The world of tricksters. These are the characters who refuse to be confined by rules, who delight in upending expectations, and who, in doing so, reveal something deeper about the world and ourselves. Tricksters appear in myths and folklore across cultures, each with their own brand of cleverness and chaos. Loki of Norse mythology, Anansi the spider from African folklore, and Coyote from Native American traditions. These are the ones who shake things up, sometimes for the worse, sometimes for the better. But they're not just troublemakers, they're forces of transformation, making us laugh, making us think, and making us reconsider the lines between order and disorder. So, what exactly is a trickster? Picture a character standing at the crossroads of chaos and wisdom, a figure neither entirely good nor purely evil. They bend the rules, they challenge authority, and they thrive in moments of uncertainty. They are the ones who push the boundaries, forcing us to see the world in new ways. Tricksters navigate challenges with humor and cunning. They hold up a mirror to society, exposing its contradictions and making us question what we take for granted. And if we're honest, who doesn't need a little disruption now and then? Let's bring this to life with three of the famous tricksters. Here's a story about Loki. In the halls of Asgard, where the gods feast and boast of their might, Loki is always watching, always waiting for the perfect moment to strike with a grin. He is the god of mischief, but his antics often have unexpected consequences, and sometimes to his own detriment. One evening, Loki's restless nature leads him to a prank. He sneaks into the chambers of Sif, the wife of Thor, and with a single swipe of his knife, he shears off her golden hair. When Thor discovers what's happened, his rage shakes the very halls of the gods. Rah! Loki, always the smooth talker, promises to fix it. He travels to the dwarves, master craftsmen, and convinces them to forge not only golden hair for Sif, but treasures beyond imagining, including Mjolnir, Thor's mighty hammer. What began as mischief ends with gifts that shape the fate of the gods. But Loki's tricks are not always so harmless. He is also the architect of Baldur's death, the beloved god of light. Disguising himself, Loki whispers to Baldur's blind brother Hodder, guiding his hand to hurl a mistletoe dart, Baldur's only weakness. The beloved god falls, and with him the balance of the world begins to tip toward Ragnarok, the Norse apocalypse. Yet even in destruction, there is renewal, and the world after Ragnarok is one of rebirth. Then there's the tale of Anansi. Across the vast landscapes of Africa, where the sun blazes high and the baobab trees stand tall, there lives a spider unlike any other, Anansi, the cleverest of them all. One day, Anansi decides he wants all the world's wisdom for himself. He collects every scrap of knowledge and stores it in a clay pot, tying it to his belly. But wisdom, it seems, does not always lead to foresight. As he struggles to climb a tree to hide his treasure, his young son watches from below. "Father," the boy calls, "why not tie the pot to your back? It would be easier to climb." Nancy freezes. How could a child outthink him? In his frustration, he smashes the pot to the ground, sending wisdom scattering in every direction. And so, thanks to Anansi's greed and folly, wisdom is no longer hoarded. It belongs to everyone. Thank goodness. Doesn't seem that way sometimes, huh? And our third story is about Coyote. In the cold of an endless winter, the people shiver in darkness. Fire exists, but it's hoarded by the gods, far beyond reach. Enter Coyote, sly, swift, and always scheming. Under the cover of night, Coyote sneaks into the gods' camp. The fire crackles, warm and alive, but it is heavily guarded. With a sudden leap, Coyote snatches a burning branch and bolts for the hills. The gods wake in fury, chasing him across the land. But Coyote has planned well. He passes the fire to his animal friends, a squirrel, a rabbit, and a hawk, each carrying it a little farther until at last the fire reaches the people. Thanks to Coyote's trick, humanity will never know cold and darkness again. All right, so why are we drawn to tricksters? Psychologist Carl Jung believed they represent something deep within us all, the part that questions, the part that resists, the part that seeks change. Tricksters remind us that rules are not absolute, that growth often comes through disruption. They force us to step outside our comfort zones and see the world from a different angle. Culturally, tricksters serve another purpose. They challenge authority and point out the absurdities of societal norms. By bending the rules, they reveal flaws in the system, pushing communities to evolve. They expose hypocrisies, poke fun at power, and force us to rethink traditions that no longer serve us. Many revolutions, both political and social, have been sparked by individuals with trickster like qualities, those who saw an injustice and found a clever, often irreverent way to challenge it. The power of satire, of questioning narratives, and of seeing loopholes in rigid systems, this is the trickster's influence in our real world. Tricksters aren't just relics of mythology, they live on in modern culture. Think about the Joker, Deadpool. These characters break the mold, challenging our expectations and forcing us to confront uncomfortable truths. The Joker's chaos exposes the fragility of order, while Deadpool's humor pokes fun at the absurdity of superhero narratives. In literature, we see trickster figures in characters like Puck from A Midsummer's Night Dream, Bugs Bunny in old cartoons now, and even in real life figures like stand up comedians who use humor to critique society. For agnostics and those who identify as spiritual but not religious, tricksters hold a special significance. They embody the in between, the uncertainty of life. They remind us that not everything is black and white, and that sometimes the most profound truths are found in life's contradictions. Tricksters are more than jesters or rule breakers. They're the architects of change. Through their stories, we learn to question, to adapt, and to find wisdom in unexpected places. So as we close, ask yourself, what can you learn from the trickster? Is there a belief you need to challenge, a rule you should question, or a moment where a little chaos might lead to something new? As always, thanks for joining me on this journey through the world of tricksters. If you enjoyed today's episode, don't forget to subscribe to the None But Curious podcast, share, and even let me know your thoughts. And until next time, stay curious and embrace the mischief.